Victims are beginning to tell their stories in the securities fraud trial of ex-state representative Pete Beck. The massive fraud case first came to light in 2012 following a Local 12 News investigation. Local 12's Rich Jaffe broke that story, and he's been in court for the trial. He joins us now from the newsroom with today's developments. Rich?
Cammie Beck's defense team has to work with what they've got. Today they tried repeatedly to convince the judge, as they have in the past, that Pete Beck really wasn't the chief financial officer of a company that swindled investors out of millions, Christopher Technologies. The problem is Beck had all the trimmings, trappings, and titles, including the business card, and this is it, that said he was the CFO. Leo Fernandez is the forensic accountant who put the numbers together for the state's case against Pete Beck. While he was testifying today, Beck was noticeably nervous, his leg bouncing violently under the defense table. Defense attorney Chad Ziffel tried over and over again to get Fernandez to help their case by saying Pete Beck wasn't really an employee of Christopher Technologies, or CTech, but Fernandez wouldn't budge.
And then page 19 is a total summary of all the employees, right?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Beck's not included in this, is he?
No, he's not. That doesn't mean he's not an employee.
Well, he wasn't on payroll, was he?
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, those were his paychecks, and he was writing his own paychecks, so he could decide whether he was a W-2 employee or 1099.
Next on the stand was investor Larry Cook, who told the court he lost his life savings, $295,000, to fraudulent companies brought to him by Beck business partner and friend Tom Lysett. He said his only dealings with Pete Beck came in an investor conference call.
I mean, at the time they stated that the finances of the company were in order and it was doing well, and then so that.
Okay, and let's make sure I want to make sure we're clear here. When you say they, who are you referencing, Mr. Cook? When you're referencing
Thomas
that
Lysett and Mr. Beck.
Cook said he had no idea that the companies he was investing in were losing more money than they were making, and wouldn't have invested in them had he known. Last on the stand, the administrative assistant for Christopher Technologies.
What became the defendant's role at Christopher Technologies?
He was the CFO.
And how do you know he was the CFO of Christopher Technologies?
Because he was the CFO, he had name tags that we referred to him as that. He was presented as that to other people.
One of the really interesting things that came to light today was that Larry Cook should never have been allowed to invest in Christopher Technologies. Before a company like this allows investors to buy in, they have to fill out a questionnaire that basically establishes they can afford to do it. Larry Cook didn't qualify in any way, shape, or form, but that did not stop them from taking his money, and that's part of the state's big fraud case here. In the newsroom, Rich Jaffe, Local 12 News. Cammie?
Yeah, your heart really goes out to Mr. Cook and the others like him. I mean, you said his entire life savings, around $300,000. How does that compare to what some of the other investors lost?
It's actually pretty close to average. We expect to see on the stand the lead investor in this thing. He lost $750,000, and another one lost $500,000, another $360,000. Serious money and serious losses. They are all expected to say one of the big reasons they bought in was CPA Pete Beck.
All right, Rich, thank you. And that trial, by the way, is expected to last at least another 2 weeks.